Super Soul Sunday. I'm delighted and excited to come your way. Today, I'm talking to two intelligent and amazing people. I have with me Ewura Adams Karim, and I have just lost my Ghana's most beautiful. Maybe she would join. I'm broadcasting from London, and the two of them are joining me from Ghana. So we're going to have an interesting conversation. But bear with us because of the internet. But hey, we are so determined to have our conversation. Ewura, welcome.
Thank you very much, Nana, for having me on your show, and good evening to all your viewers, everywhere.
How is the weather like back home?
Well, it's been okay for now. It's not very hot. It's not very cold. It's in between. So it's okay. It's fine for now.
Okay. Sundays are special. Sundays we go to church and then we go and have omutuo and we chill out. So this Sunday evening or as today Sunday, what did you do?
What did I do?
Before getting ready to come on the
show. My Sundays are not the typical Ghanaian Sundays because I work Sunday to Sunday. So
you work
today.
Good for you.
I was out working today. I actually had to rush home for this, else I would have done it in the car, on my way home. So I had to quickly rush home, to do this today. So, there was the usual mood to and all of that. But I had some jollof, which I ate in my car. Because I just had to eat a little.
Well, okay, thank you. So if you join us, I'm going to be, as I said in my intro, Ewura Adams Karim and Ghana's most beautiful EKua Mends Bannerman, but she's cut off, so hopefully she joins us. Ewura is, I call him Ghana's finest poet and writer. He is the CEO of Maltiti Foundation. He is an artist. Ewura, you've got so much going on your accolades. So I wanted to come from you. Tell the world who Ewura Adams Karim is.
All right. Thank you very much, Nana. My name is Ewura Adams Karim. What else? Nana, you were saying a lot of things. Well, I'm a performing artist. Specifically, I do a lot of spoken word poetry. I'm also an actor. I do a lot of stage, plays as well. I'm also the executive director of Maltiti Foundation, which is a non-profit organization here in Ghana that works with women in rural communities, by trying to amplify them, in form of ensuring that we give them access to economic opportunities, good health and well-being, and the very basic things that our society is supposed to, provide. Because I believe very much in equality, and so these are some of the things that I do in that regard. But aside that, I do a lot of small things around as well, just because I have a lot of passions, and I try as much as I can to dedicate a little time for every single one of them.
Wow, a lot. Well, I decided to bring this young man on because he is so full of wisdom. And I know that in this generation, the youth, our future leaders, are those we need to encourage, to motivate, and to let the world, shine on them. We give them the spotlight for the world to know what they are doing. I've just lost Miss Ghana Most Beautiful again. Hopefully she comes back. Ewura, you are just,
Yes.
I asked of your age when you sent me your video. And if you haven't seen, I did post Ewura's video on the Nana Cheche Show page, so you can, check him out. Tell me, growing up in the North, how your upbringing was.
All right. Thank you very much, Nana. So I grew up in a polygamous family. My father had a lot of wives. and 9 children. I happen to be the last and ninth child of my father. And so for me, um, growing up was tough at a point. I mean, but it wasn't
Okay,
the typical.
I'm
I'm
gonna
back.
bring EKua in, and then we're gonna continue our conversation. EKua, welcome.
Hello. Thank
Your
you.
plane has just landed.
Missy. You just landed on the air though.
Okay, so our wonderful viewers, this is EKua Mends Bannerman, who is the reigning queen 2019 for Ghana Most Beautiful. Recently, they launched the 2020 edition. So EKua is going to tell us all about it. So EKua, welcome to the Nana Cheche Show.
Thank you very much.
Yes, let the world get to know you from your own mouth. Well, today's edition is going to be an interesting one due to our wonderful internet services in Ghana, but we are determined to do that. So Ekwa, did you hear me? Okay, since Ekwa is not hearing me, Ewura, you can continue, my dear.
Well, yeah. So, as I was saying, growing up in the North, in a polygamous family, taught me a lot of lessons as a young chap. Because I had elder siblings to look up to, and so I learned a lot from them as a child growing up. Because, and I was telling someone quite recently that I hardly remember a single time when my parents, called me to sit me down and talk to me, about something that I wasn't doing right, something I was doing wrong. Because for me, most of those lessons that ordinarily my parents would have sat me down to, teach me or advise me on were things that I learned from my elder siblings. Because whenever someone did wrong and the person was being counseled, I was there. And so I sat down to listen to the counsel as well. And so for me, I was picking up all of these lessons. Then as a young chap, growing up in the north. But then also, I think that growing up in the north taught me a lot of lessons, lots of really amazing lessons. But one challenge that I found was the fact that I was very limited in my worldview and how I saw things. And I don't blame me for that, and I don't blame a lot of young people for that, because it happens to not just it didn't happen to only me. It happens to a lot of young people as well, especially when you're confined, in a particular area. You feel that the whole world is just centered around it, and you're forced to dream and plan your entire life around that particular area. And so for me, that was one of the major challenges until I was able to break that chain by leaving, home, by leaving the north to go to school in the south. And then I realized that what, the world is not just about Tamale where I
Fantastic,
live, but the world
fantastic,
is bigger than that.
fantastic.
And
Ekwa,
and then it
did you grow up in the
opened
central
up.
region?
Yes, I grew up in the central region.
Okay, so tell us your experience growing up in the central region. Is it Cape Coast or where? Where in the central region?
Yes, Cape Coast and Abra. Abra, yes. Abra is in the midst of Cape Coast. So a bit about where I grew up. It's really, let's say, a ghetto area where there are lots of children, a lot of parents, and you have to learn everything they are doing. You have to fit in, because if you don't, you look like Ocho. That's the term that Ghanaians always say when you don't fit into a particular attitude or something. So I'll say that it was really tough because the children were being left to do what they want without corrections. And so if you're going wayward, you don't get any parents trying to correct you. But my parents, my dad, for instance, is the strict man. He's very strict. He wouldn't let you go wayward. When he knows that what you're doing is wrong, by the time you get home, you have your belt and your cane waiting for you because you did the wrong thing. And so I felt like they were actually forcing me to do what I'm not ready for. But along the way, I saw that okay, so my parents actually wanted the best for me, because all those people I grew up with in the same neighborhood, they can't now get closer to me because they think I'm at a stage they are not up to that stage, because some are pregnant, some are school dropouts and all that. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but it depended on my parents and other parents also nurturing their children well. So I think it was okay.
So
Mm.
fantastic. So you think that our 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 upbringing, our parents being strict at the end of the day has really done justice to you. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Ewura, what got
Yeah.
you into the arts and poetry?
Sorry.
Um, I'd say passion got me into the art. Growing up as a child, I've always loved, you'd find me singing always, you'd find me talking a lot. Okay, I talk a lot. So when I remember when I was in primary school and junior high school, whenever there was a singing competition or dancing competition or any drama competition whatsoever, you would find me there. The teachers would call me and put me in because they realized that I had genuine passion for it, and I was always there to represent the school and all of that. And so for me, going into the university, I realized that what, if this is something that I have passion for, why don't I pursue it, to the latter? Why don't I pursue it fully? And so for me, I decided to chart that path. As much as I had a lot of opposition, especially from family, because the general idea is that but then I knew exactly what it is that I was about, and so I went in there because genuinely I had passion for it, and passion is such that once you have passion for something you do it with so much ease, without any stress whatsoever, without any difficulty whatsoever. And so for me, that was what pushed me into the art. Also, owing to knowing that I love seeing change. I love doing things differently, and I love getting people to do things differently, especially with regards to our society. And so I felt that as a young man, I needed to inspire other younger people as well to also want to do things differently. But I couldn't do those things using the orthodox methods. And so I had to pursue the arts fully so I can use the art as a channel to, talk to people, to educate people, to entertain people, or inspire people. And so I realized that most of the pieces that I write, most of the pieces that I work on are pieces that center on social issues, on everyday issues that everyone can relate, to. And so for me, that is basically what inspired me into the art.
Wow, wow. EKua, so what motivated you to enter this wonderful contest, Ghana Most Beautiful, in 2019? EKua, can you hear me?
Come again.
We need we need. Did you hear what I said? I said what
My network
motivated you
is
to.
so bad.
What motivated you to enter the Ghana Most Beautiful in 2019? Wow, Ewura,
I think we're having some
it's
internet
just you
challenges.
and I again.
Oh man.
So we're gonna. I hope you have prepared for me for a word. You've prepared some poetry for me tonight because and then I think I'm going to challenge you to do a word on the internet in Ghana. How about that?
Well, we'll see about that. See what we can do about that.
So you are an executive director. You are the CEO of
Thank you, Tiff.
Creativity Express, And then recently, you also became the head of Africa operations for Recycle Martin. How do you balance these three as a young man?
Um, Time management, planning. That's basically the magic. There's no other magic from anywhere. I just want to ensure that I plan my time properly, and then I make sure that I make time for everything and everything fits in properly. And so basically that's what works for me. Planning. I sleep at 2 a.m. I'm up by
What time?
2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then I'm up by 6 a.m. Latest by 7:30. I make sure I'm out of the house, and then I'm hustling. I get back. The earliest I'd get back home probably would be 7 p.m. Sometimes I get back as late as 10 p.m., 11 p.m. But then I ensure that I'm able to do whatever it is that I have to do. And so usually the time from 12 midnight to 2 a.m. is when I also get time to do personal stuff that relates to me. So that's when I write most of my pieces. That's when I get to, go over personal projects that I'm working on and all of that, read emails that I probably failed to read during the day, send out replies, and then plan for the next day. And basically, so that's it. It's just about time management. It's just about effectively managing my
Time
time and
management.
ensuring
So,
that
and then
whatever.
manage you also manage other talents. So you have your
Yes.
projects going on, and then you still have time to
Yeah.
see others that you think have talent and you want to let them shine. How are you able as a young man yourself spot this talent and then able to manage them at the same time?
Um, I was also spotted by people who sat me down, and talked to me and guided me, and showed me a particular path, to chart and all of that. And so for me, it's I have an eye for quality things. Let me put it that way. And so that's one of the things that I was able to spot, a couple of them, and then spoke to them, got them to come to an understanding that what, I spotted you. I'm a young man like yourself, and I may not have all the money or all the resources in the world, to be able to do things that ordinarily someone who has access to all of these things would be able to do. But one thing I know for sure is that um, let's partner. So it's more like I'm partnering with you to ensure that we put you on the map because you are the product. You are the product. All I have to do is just to add some finishing touches, do some little bit of marketing here and there, and get you out there. So basically, one thing I do is that the talents that I manage, I allow them to do most of the work because it concerns them. And I didn't come in to manage or assist because I want anything extraordinary from you. No, I just want to offer a helping hand. So I expect you to do most of the work because in a situation where I'm no longer there, what becomes of you. So I don't just come and fish for you to eat. I show you how to fish and I guide you to fish, and all of that. So that's what I do, and that's how I'm able to effectively manage my time. I know a lot of people when they're managing talents want to lord over them, call all of the shots, tell them, when I say do this, do that. No, allow you the free will, whatever you think, okay, you spotted something you want to do it, you think is nice. I said, okay, no problem. We sit down, we discuss it, we look at the pros and cons. I take in your opinions, I give in mine as well, and then the options are open, and then we decide which path to go, and then we go entirely, and then support all out and ensure that we do it and do it well.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, let's see. Equa is back on, so maybe let's see if I can get Equa to Equa. Wow. Okay, I need to. It's going to be fun. We're having fun here at the studio. And you froze, and then the Equa comes back on, and the Equa is gone, and it's like, oh my God, you know much about Ghana, so maybe you will step in for her a bit and tell me about Ghana and the beauty of Ghana because most people know Ghana, but they don't know Ghana as you know Ghana. So tell me a little bit, you know, how many regions we have in Ghana, the beauty and the culture of Ghana, and why when the air spaces are open, we should buy tickets and come to Ghana. Okay, hold on. She's back. So she's back. She's back.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
My Ghana's most beautiful. About so many. And that's the internet, you know. Okay. Karim was going to step in for you, but since you're back, tell me what motivated you to apply to go into Ghana's most beautiful in 2020, in 2019, sorry. Okay. Karim, answer for her.
Oh my God. What's happening with the internet today? Nana, are you there?
So, Karim, we just froze. We don't know what happened. Everything just blacked out.
Yeah, because I was wondering. I was just about stepping
You were
in to
wondering that
start.
disappeared. I did not disappear. I was looking for EKua and I disappeared myself. It's
Oh, wow.
amazing what this internet is. It is so interesting. So, yes, as we were discussing, take me to Ghana. Take all of us to Ghana.
Well, I mean, Ghana is an amazing country. You know, let me to be in. Let me start with it's an amazing country to visit. If you're ever thinking of coming, you know, down to Africa, you know, to do anything whatsoever. First and foremost, I'll talk about the first, you know, country in the South region to gain independence, you know, from the hands of the British, and you know, ever since then we've been on a gradual growth journey. And then basically, when we talk about Ghana, I know a lot of you think about cocoa, you know, the chocolates that you eat, you know, and the chocolate, you know, beverages that you take and all of that, because most of the cocoa comes from Ghana. But Ghana goes way beyond cocoa. It goes way beyond the gold, you know, and the diamonds and the bauxite and all of that we are aware of. But then also Ghana has a very rich, you know, cultural heritage. You know, has a very rich tourism sector, a very virgin one for that matter. Because if you ask me, we haven't really explored, you know, all the tourism centers that we have in Ghana. Because most people, you know, will talk about the Cape Coast Castle, we'll talk about the Elmina Castle, we'll talk about the beautiful beaches. But then also we have a lot of amazing waterfalls in Ghana across several regions. Because when you go to the Brong-Ahafo region, there's a Kintampo waterfall. When you go to the Volta region, we have the Wuli waterfall. When you go to the eastern region, we have the Botifo, as well the Umbrella Rock. That's also in the eastern region. The three-headed palm. The Tafia Tomi Monkey Sanctuary, the Moli National Park, the Larabanga Mosque, amazing, Paga Crocodile Pond, amazing Salaga Slave Market, Salaga Slave Wells and Baths, the ancestral cemeteries. There are lots of amazing, tourist sites to visit when you are in Ghana. So you have a lot of adventure, you have a lot of fun, and all of these places have really beautiful history, that you would love to listen to. I think we have EKua back again.
Thank you. Well, let's see.
Hey, today, dear.
Today is your day. Today is your day. Right. So tell me why you decided to apply and join the context of the Ghana's most beautiful in 2020, 2019. You see, it's making me today is your day. I keep saying 2019, 2020. 2019. Ewura, do you think we should give? Okay, so
I don't know what EKua's internet.
I don't know, because I think where she is, the reception is very, 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 very bad. That and are you in Accra or you are in the north? You are in Accra now, or you are in the north?
Yeah, I'm in Accra presently.
You're in Accra. You're in Accra now. Okay, so well, it maybe depends on the area that she is in, but hey, we will continue the conversation. So yes, you took us to Ghana. So how many regions are there in Ghana?
All right, so now we have 16 regions in Ghana.
16 regions?
Yeah, we have
Wow.
16 regions. Yeah.
Okay, my sister is back. Let's see if she can right. 16 regions. It never used to be 16 regions, right?
Yeah,
it was less.
We used to have 10. Yeah, we used to have 10 until recently. I think
yes.
Last year there was a referendum last year that voted for us to have 16 regions. The presidency invited proposals and petitions from the various regions that we had then, and some of the ethnic groups within particular geographic areas felt that they needed a region on their own. And so the presidency accepted the proposals, went on to do their own investigations. And then, we had a referendum where they put it to vote, and then the people decided. So at the end of the day, the people of Ghana decided that, they want regions on their own. That's how come we had the divisions. So you realize that a region such as the Northern region now has been divided into three. So we have the Northern region itself, we have the Savannah region, and then we have the Northeast region. The Brong-Ahafo region has also been divided into two, where we have the Bono, and then we have Brong-Ahafo. We also have the Volta region also divided, where we have the Volta region and the OT region. So that's the kind of division that has happened.
Oh, wow. So in the north, so right now in the north, how many they divided the north into what? 3, 4?
Yeah, so they divided the northern region itself into three, different regions. Now that initially a lot of people used to say 3 northern regions. So the 3 northern regions, comprise of the upper east, the upper west, and then the northern region. But now the northern region itself has been divided into 3. So now we have the 5, regions of the north, where we have the upper east region, the upper west region, we have the northern region, the Savannah region, and the northeast region.
Okay, EKua. I gave you a break.
When I come back, then go off.
Right. Because you honored our invitation, we still want to hear you share with us, your experience as Ghana's most beautiful. So I think the last questions that I've been repeating to you was why you decided to enter this contest.
Okay, thank you very much. I love things about culture. I love tourism, and I love platforms given to young ladies to explore what they have in them. So when I saw that GMB gives every young lady the platform to showcase has in there, I just decided to take part in the Ghana's Most Beautiful because I've been following it for years, watching young ladies come out to be better women of themselves. So I decided to join it last year and to tell the world, like, oh yeah, I also do it and also do it better. I can become somebody better in my country, to support my country, to go higher, to develop and all. So I decided to join the pageant because it grooms ladies. Let me put it that way. It really grooms ladies on how to come out as a woman. Even if you're a girl, you come out being a woman. So I really love the platform and I decided to join to also be groomed and to come back as not a woman, but as a woman in EKua. Yeah.
Wow. So tell me the steps of, when you apply, because we know that this year it's been launched just a couple of weeks ago. So they launched for the 2020. So tell me the what you went through, and maybe somebody who might be thinking of going into it next year will learn from.
Okay, so first of all, you have to buy the forms. I actually stepped into TV3 office at Kumasi. I was in Kumasi, so I went to Kumasi, their office at Kumasi, to purchase the forms, and after I think then it was like 50 to purchase it, and then they told me they'll give me a message on when I come for the first audition. And so I went back, and then you be sent a WhatsApp message to send your full picture and biography of yourself.
All right. So she froze again. So Ewura, we are back on. So the north. Take me to the north again. I know in the north, that's where
Yeah.
shea butter comes from, which you promised to take me when I am
Mhm.
in Ghana to see how shea butter is
It's
made.
mixed.
Tell me some of the
Yeah.
things that when I come to the north I would see.
There's a lot to see and experience in the north. So, first of all, I already spoke about our tourist site, but maybe I'll have to take you through that again, specifically to the north. So, when you from the Upper East, Upper East, Northern Region, Savannah combined, I'm just going to name them in no order anyway. So, there's the Paga Crocodile Pond, which is well known for housing crocodiles within that particular area. We have lots of tourists trooping in, every year to go visit this place and take pictures with the crocodiles and all of that. We also have the Congo Rocks, also in the Upper East region. With very beautiful, rocky area. We'll have lots of people also trooping in, to visit, have a look, hike, take pictures, and all of that. And even do a lot of research, working in the area. We have the Moli National Park, which is more like an own wildlife in Ghana, where there are lots of animals that you can, go on a safari and see, including elephants, antelope, monkeys, chimpanzees, and all of that. And there's a lot of beautiful, birds and butterflies also in the Moli National Park. We have the Larabanga Mosque, which is one of the oldest in the sub region. We have the mystery or the mystic stone as well, which is believed to be a rock under which the founder of the Gonja Kingdom, Ewura used to rest after his, conquest. We come towards the Salaga area. We have the Salaga slave wells and where the slaves were bathed, before they were carried to the Salaga slave market to be sold. Because the Salaga market used to be a very important, market during that particular period and played a very instrumental role, during the slave trade. We also have the ancestral cemetery, which is located in Florida, where a lot of the slaves were buried, when they couldn't make it through the journey as well. So there's a lot. I mean, I can mention
There's a lot that I think the next
there's a
show,
lot of
what you would do is we would send you to the north, and then you would broadcast live for all of us to see. As a
why
young
not?
man, one thing I admire about you, apart from your hard work, is how that you're passionate about the things that you do. We have so many young men out there who don't really know what they want to do. I know some who have gone to universities and finished, and they still at home and said, I don't even know why I chose this subject. What advice would you give to young men out there who have, a dream to do something, but they can't figure themselves out?
Patience, 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 patience. I didn't wake up one day and tell me what I wanted to do. It took me patience. It took me a lot of time to do a deeper introspection and ask myself within that what is it that you really want to do? Where do you want to put yourself? What do you want to be remembered for? And for me, that's one thing that guided me. Yes, I had a lot of opposition, um, including opposition from family because they wanted me to read certain courses that I did not want to read. But I had to fight it through. Fighting it
Was it
through.
your dad? Was it your dad, or
Yes,
both?
yes,
Was
my
it
dad. My
dad and
dad
mom?
my dad wanted me to read science in high school because he wanted me to become a doctor, a pharmacist. But then I declined, and I opted to read general arts in high school. So I read economics, I read government, I read Islamic studies, and history. And so when I was about to go to the university, he said, "No, why don't you go and read, political science or economics because of your background in government and economics and all of that." And then I declined again and I said, "No, I want to go to the School of Performing Arts." And then that was another here and there kind of issue. But then I told him that, look, I know what I'm about, so let me go. If I fail, then you can say, well, we told you, we didn't listen. But if I succeed, I'll come and tell you, I told you I knew what it was about. And at the end of the day, I had the final laugh. And I'm proud that I did. But then I think what worked for me, just as I said, is that it's patience. I gave myself time, to think about a lot of things. I didn't rush into a lot of things. I just gave myself time. But then one major thing I want them to know is that even at this age, if you're at around my age, or even older than I am, and you still have not been able to decide what it is you want to do with your life, it is normal. It is normal. You have done no wrong.
Yeah.
God has a plan for everybody. So it just may not be your time, for you to get where it is you need to get to. But then definitely all you need to do is believe that a time will come when it will also be your time. But then you don't have to keep sitting and waiting for that particular time. You need to work towards that time. Because I tell people that I don't believe in luck. Because if the luck comes and you are not ready, then it's useless. And so you need to work towards the luck. Because when opportunity comes knocking and you are not ready to open the door, opportunity will move to the next door. And so if you still don't know what it is you want to do with your life, yes, it is normal, it is time you have committed no time, but then work towards something. You have certain interests, you have certain passions, you have certain things that you need to do. So try doing those things, and you never know when or where you will develop or which of them you're going to develop a major passion for. And at the end of the day, that is what a lot of people, will get to know you for, and then you chart a path for yourself, and then you follow that path to your success. And so there's no rush in life. It's just about patience. Some make it at 20 years, some make it at 15, some make it at 50. It doesn't matter. It's all God's
There's
plan.
there's no rush. As for rush, there's no rush. But you know that there is that peer pressure as well from family, from friends, and then from society and social media. Now, social media seems to be ruling most people's life because I see Karim doing his spoken word. I see Karim running a foundation. I see Karim managing a talent. I see Karim now heading let me prophesy $1 billion company.
I
I
receive it.
see you
Amen.
doing all the amen. You know, how then won't I be, I want to do all these things. So I want you to look in the camera again and talk to that young guy, talk to that young lady that you said patient. Apart from patience, what has made you who you are?
All right. So Nana says I should look in the camera and talk to you. So I'm talking to my sister out there. I've talked about patience. I'm not going to touch on it. Maybe it might come in because I like talking about it a lot. But then also I will talk about the willingness to learn. Look, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are or whatever it is. But then there is somebody who is doing something that you want to do. Walk up to the person, humble yourself, ask the person, and let the person teach you how to do it. But don't see that the person is doing it and say, okay, and then you start to do it. You don't know the rudiments, you don't know the basics of it. Until you humble yourself and walk up to the person for the person to teach you, you will know. And so for me, that's one thing. I open up myself to learn a lot of things from different people. And so I have different mentors, I have different people that I look up to, for various things. And then I learn from all of these people. And then I add it to my financer. And that's my own recipe, and then I get whatever.
What is a fianza? When you say some of us don't understand your language.
Common sense.
Wisdom. The whole yes.
Wisdom.
Yes.
Exactly. So that is that. So you need to humble yourself to learn. You need to work hard. You need to work hard. When others are sleeping at 6 p.m., extend your sleep time a bit. And work hard. Double up the work. Add more effort. That's the thing. You can't be lazy and expect to be successful. Forget it. Even if your father leaves you billions, if you're lazy and you're not able to work towards multiplying or tripling or quadrupling the billion, you won't succeed. So you need to work hard. If others are waking up at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., you need to wake up as early as 5 a.m., as 6 a.m., and get your stuff together. And you need to be committed to whatever it is that you're doing. You don't start and leave it halfway. No, you need to work towards it. Be committed to it. If you have to, you give yourself tasks. You achieve those tasks. And there are lots of other things that I can talk about. But in all of these things, if you fail to plan properly, then it's useless. So planning is the basic stage of everything. You need to plan effectively towards whatever it is that you want to do. Have goals. You can choose to have hourly goals. Okay, so in the next hour I want to do this. In the next 2 hours I should be doing this. The next day I want to be achieving this. In the next week, in the next month, in the next quarter, in the next year. Put your goals that way, and work towards those goals, and be able to rate yourself based on the work that you have done. Give yourself feedback. Be honest with yourself. Beat yourself, to do the work. But then in all of these things, do not be complacent. When you start making it in bits, you feel that you're on top of the world, so you're going to relax. No, you need to be consistent, because consistency will take you further. Consistency will take you far, and and all of that. There's one thing I'm trying to talk about, which is still not coming. What is this? What is it? Yeah, I talked about humbling yourself to learn. I talked about being consistent. I talked about hard work. I talked about
and being disciplined.
Planning. The discipline. And then there's this thing that I need to tell you. Do not seek validation. It might come off as a bit, arrogant or something of that sort. But it's extremely important. It is one thing that I have learned, and it's one thing the art has taught me. Do not seek validation. Whatever it is you want to do, go all out there and do it. People will always have opinions. People will always have their own perspective and everything. But once you start seeking validation, once you start asking a lot of people, "Oh, are they me and yeah, then you'll have a problem because you lose you and then you start doing them. And it's a big problem for a lot of people. So you need to put validation aside and do what it is that you're interested in doing, do what it is that you love to do. But then also, I'm not saying do not accept criticism from people. There are a lot of objective criticism that people are going to give in. To accept criticism, you need to pick those ones that you think are objective and you need to work on all of those things, and then you get out there again. But do not go asking people, what I'm doing, is it good? What I'm doing, is it nice? And I learned that through the art because people interpret the art in different ways. And so the way you might love your spoken word, another person won't love it that way. It still does not mean that I don't have to do spoken word because for all I know, there are a lot of people who, are like you. And I need to reach out to those people as well. And so because of reasons he doesn't like my art, I shouldn't do it again. No, if Nana likes it, I'll do it for Nana. And there are a lot of people out there who are like Nana who will look it. And so that is it. You need not to seek validation. And that is one thing social media is doing to a lot of people. A lot of people are seeking validation in social media. And it's eating a lot of young people up. It's creating a lot of competition between young people. A lot of young people are rushing things. They want to do things like their friends. They want to drive in that car. They want to go to the flash restaurant. There's no hurry in life. Humble yourself and let God take you there.
Wow. Do you know, I like that. It's very true. And I think that is what is also making people fall into this mental health thing, because you wake up and you see everybody doing something great, and you think it's great. So, and you are not doing anything. So you think that's the end of your life. Do not seek. I love it. I love it. And with all that you have said as well, very, very important, because of this generation that we are in. We have to be very, very careful who we are looking at. There is that saying that not all that glitters is gold. We all have to work hard to get to where we are. Today I was having a conversation with a lady, and she said something. I said, look, I have worked hard to be where I am, and I'm still working. Every day we are working, so work hard and get whatever you want to do to be the best of the best, but don't seek validation from anyone. The most important thing is you are in your purpose, your divine purpose. Super true. The poem, you sent me a poem about mental health, since I've mentioned mental health, and you did mention how, millions or thousands of youth have committed suicide. What do you think that society can do to help our youth to really, really support them in this mental health issue?
All right. Thank you very much, Nana, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that's one thing that I'm really passionate about as a young person. Realizing that there are a lot of my colleagues out there who, from time to time, experience in one way or the other, some of these mental health ailments. I mean, even myself to some extent, sometimes I get depressed, sometimes I get down, and just to clear this misconception, when we talk about mental health, we are not referring to the person who is walking on the streets, without clothes. There are a lot of people dressed in fine suits and ties, but there's something happening out there, that we need to pay attention to. Over here in Africa, there's a lot less attention given to issues of mental health. We hardly take it serious because we don't believe, when we talk about someone not being mentally stable, we only think of other people walking on the streets. And so for society, one thing we can do is to first and foremost be open, about whatever it is that we are going through, whatever challenge it is that you're faced with. If you're down, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling, some way, talk to somebody. You understand? Open up and talk to somebody. Have someone that you can confide in, and talk to the person and get the person to understand the problem that you're faced with. And if you're that person that someone comes to talk to you, sometimes when we are down, when we are facing some of these challenges and we come to talk to you, All we need is for you to listen. We're not asking you to give us a response or give us feedback, but just listen to us. So just so we know that there's somebody who is listening to us and consoling us. And later, if you have any advice, you can wait for a day to pass, and then you just tell us that, okay, I thought about what you told me, and that maybe you can do this or do this and do that. So just have an open mind to listen to people. Two, we need to stop stigmatizing, people because they have one or two, conditions or mental, ailments and all that. We need to stop a lot of the stigmatization. It's also very terrible. And also, let's create more awareness. There are a lot of people within the mental health, in the mental health space that have a lot of knowledge that they can share. So let's share that knowledge. Let's create more awareness, on mental health. And then if you are an individual who is going through certain challenges, there are a lot of avenues for you, to seek for help. There are a lot of counselors out there. There are a lot of psychologists and therapists out there. Some of them would even give you, pro bono services. So reach out to such people, and talk to them about your problems, talk to them about your issues. But now you see, all of these things wouldn't be happening if we really had a lot of parents paying more attention to their children. And that is where I think a lot of parents have failed, especially down here, where you enter certain houses and the children do not even get to see their parents up to 2 times in a week. Maybe only papa and mommy is just once a week, and then that's it, because they're extremely busy. They're all about making money and all of that, and it's bad. But then if we really had, parents paying more attention to their children, getting to sit and interact and talk more with their children, some of these things, won't be happening. We won't get a lot of these things happening with children. So parents need to become friends with their children, so their children can open up and tell them, things that ordinarily they would want to go and sit with their peers and talk about. And so it's just basically about creating that kind of support, system for everybody to have a shoulder to lean on, and all of that. And then final one, if you find yourself in an environment that is not helping your mental health, please excuse yourself, leave for your own safety. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's work related, whether it's school or whatever it is. If you find yourself within a particular space that is not healthy for you mentally, for you emotionally, for you psychologically, you just need to advise yourself and leave. Even if it's social media, if you feel that there are a lot of things happening in social media you can't stand, excuse yourself. Just give yourself space. Those people, when there's something happening to someone, I can't stand it, I leave. And so I get people ask me, so do you ever get angry? And I say, when you're doing something and I walk away from you, and I'm not happy about it. I could be angry because I don't want to do anything to you, and I leave.
Yeah.
So that's it. You need to also know your temperament, know your emotions, and all of that, so you know when to act accordingly, and all of that. I mean, we need to do these very basic stuff. I'm sure we'll have a very mentally healthy society.
You always share wisdom, and I'm super excited to be connected to you. So, if you haven't seen what Karim does, today I did post a video of his on the Nana Cheche Show page. Please do watch it. And Karim, before we wrap up, I know you're going to give me a spoken word, so I give you 1 minute to give me. I told you that you can't just come on and not prepare to give as a powerful spoken word. It could be, let me test you, it could be one on the internet of Ghana. You could just do one for me right now. Or just give me one spoken word. Let the world hear what Karim has to say.
All right, sure. Maybe this will take about 2 minutes. Let me see. It's my favorite piece, so let me do that for you.
How many minutes did you say it's going to take?
About 2 minutes.
Oh, good. I think I had 50 minutes. I'm like, what?
Right. I actually have a piece that long.
Okay. That one will be for our live show, but in Ghana. So we want the
Tururi yaba tururu yanda, tururi yaba tururu yanda. Take me back to when the moon was in full glare at the public square in no other part of Ibibiman than by the big white edifice constructed by the Danes by the sea when the family sought to enjoy the night meals and plan the days ahead. We were stripped of our own panties in our own nation, crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination working under another man's supervision. We were made to believe we were the worst on earth and needed no education, for we knew what would become of us if we had information. We were locked up in safety dungeons, guarded by darkness worse than load shedding. Our women lost their honor to the holy men, and our men bent to dig the foundations of today's highest skyscrapers with kill stripes on their backs like zebras in the wild. They killed our innovation by their cruel oppression. We had no rights. The same as there is no you, there's only what I want you to be. And so we had no option than to listen to he who was the God of the time to save ourselves from the crack of the whip. And if we resisted, we were dumped in the middle of the sea like used condoms dumped in water closets. Our names were changed from Kofi to Kofi, from Kunta Kinte to Toby, from Busumfield to Busumfield, until the day a man marched us all to Lincoln Memorial to tell us about his dream, to tell us not to wallow in the valley of despair, to tell us that a day will come when the black man will no more be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. And so we didn't hesitate as we all gathered at Lincoln Memorial to hear the story of a hero since we had long awaited to be emancipated from slavery. We supported him with so much bravery, devoid of any thoughts of treachery. We were filled with so much pride and confidence knowing who we were. We knew we had something so great, yet all those times it made us feel our skin was a metaphor. Now we found ourselves again. That's why I am not ashamed to call myself the same black man, because I know that I'm privileged, though they hid my father from the knowledge of his origin and fed him with tiny porridge. That's why I hesitate not each time I pick my boots to do the black march. I don't care if they hoot at my color, because being black is knowing that Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice M. Lumumba, Nelson Mandela, Julius Nyerere, Tafawa Balewa, Thomas Sankara, and the likes fought to redeem us from the hands of the colonial. Being black is that infectious smile I have on my face when my brother greets me in the morning with that odor emanating from his buccal cavity. Being black is knowing that I'm welcomed into my neighbor's home uninvited. Being black is knowing that the MPV's elephant stands under PNC's coconut tree for shade, walks through the rain with NDC's umbrella over its head for protection from GCPP's those dragons. Being black is knowing that CPP's cockroach Kwame Nkrumah left behind shall crow at dawn, awaken us all to PPP's call, PPP's keys, open our doors to peace, stability, and development in Ghana. Thank you.
Wow. Fantastic, fantastic. I think Ghana's most beautiful have to invite you to go and share with them when they're crowning the queen of 2020. My wonderful guest, EKua Mends Bannerman, who is Ghana's most beautiful 2019. She is the reigning queen. Her network, I sincerely apologize. It's been in and out, in and out, in and out, and we're going to be wrapping up. And we couldn't bring her back on, so I'm going to do a recorded version with her, and then we will put it so that each and everyone get to hear her story as well. Karim, thank you so much. Where can we find you on social media?
Thank you very much, Nana Chacha. My name is Ewura Adams Karim. Once you search Ewura Adams Karim on all social media, platforms, you'll find me, including Google.
Okay, even Google, we Google Ewura Adams Karim. Thank you for your wonderful work and supporting the young men and young ladies back home and your art. And you are truly a light. And it's my prayer that you continue to shine on the continent of Africa and the world as a whole. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you to everyone who joined today. It's been great. I hope you learned something from Karim, but then the internet really played, but then we won. We always win. So thank you to those who watched. Oh, yes, those who watched on YouTube and everyone who commented and everyone who shared and everyone who is like, we really, really appreciate you. Have a wonderful week. and a winning week, a fruitful one. And always know that you belong at the top. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, The Nana Cheche Show. Have a good evening and good night. Bye bye, Karim.